Emma Carter, 62, tightens her apron and adjusts her uniform before starting her shift at the Crestwood Grand Hotel. Her hands were thin and callous from decades of hard work, trembling slightly when she picked up the last wipes and put them in the tool cart. Without saying a word, Emma quietly walked into the work area, nestled through the gleaming corridors of the luxurious hotel. Her every step seemed to dissipate into the splendid air, and every task, making the bed, vacuuming, scrubbing the bathroom, was repeated in silence. No one paid attention to her, and Emma was used to it. But deep in her unwavering gaze, she still quietly completed each task carefully, as a silent commitment to herself. As Emma walked out of a room on the rooftop, the tinging sound of the elevator rang out. The door opened, and a tall man in a perfectly tailored suit walked out, followed by assistants hurriedly carrying their luggage. Emma immediately recognized that this was Charles Wentworth, the wealthy guest that the staff whispered about. She quickly pressed herself against the wall, hoping not to be noticed. "That girl!" His voice rang out, cold and commanding. Emma was slightly startled but remained calm, and replied, "Yes, sir." "Make sure my room is perfectly clean," Charles said without looking at her, and then walked off with authority. Before Emma could leave, her manager, Mr. Harrison, appeared, grabbed her by the hand and lowered his voice to warn. "Emma, it's Charles Wentworth, one of the richest men in the country. If he asks for anything, you have to do it right away. There's no reason." Emma nodded, suppressing her uneasiness. She quickly prepared a tray of fine wine and a shiny crystal glass, and walked to the large door of Mr. Wentworth's room. When she tapped lightly, a cold "come in" rang out. Entering the lavish room, Emma's eyes swept through the floor-to-ceiling glass windows, opening up to a splendid view of the city. "Here is your wine, sir," she said, her voice soft but steadfast. Charles pointed to the table without looking. "Put it there." When she just put down the tray, his gaze suddenly stopped on her rough hands. A half-smile appeared. "How long have you been working here?" "Just a few weeks, sir," Emma replied, her eyes lowered. "Let me guess," Charles said, his voice mocking. "You think working here will bring you closer to this luxurious life, right?" Emma was silent, only to reply, "I'm here to work, sir." "Your job," Charles insisted with a look of contempt, "is to clean up for people like me and remember where I am." He brushed the cigar ashes down on the carpet, and then coldly ordered, "Move away." Emma bit her lip tightly, bending down to pick up each cigarette butt. As soon as she stood up, he lifted his foot, pointing out his shiny shoes towards her. "By the way, it's already down there, wipe my shoes clean." Emma held back her tears and quietly complied. Each cleaning movement is a lesson in endurance that she has forged over the years. But deep down, an underground wave of anger began to rise, not only to Charles but also to the injustice she had suffered for so many years. After completing the task, Emma left Charles Wentworth's room with trembling hands. She went to the tool room where she used to frequent to find some peace. Sitting on the cold floor, Emma burst into tears. The tears were filled with shame and years of silent suffering that no one understood. The gentle knock on the door startled her. Emma hurriedly wiped away her tears and opened the door. In front of her was a man in a neat suit, with a solemn face but gentle eyes. "Are you okay, ma'am?" the man asked, his voice sincere. "Yes, I'm fine," Emma replied awkwardly, trying to hide her emotion. "I'm Jonathan Hayes, the owner of this hotel," he introduced, his voice calm but determined. "I heard something happened. Can you tell me?" Emma hesitated, but Jonathan's sincere gaze made her decide to tell it all. From Charles Wentworth's insults to Mr. Harrison's coercion, Emma poured out her heart with a mixture of anger and pain. Jonathan's face sank when he heard the story. "What you have to endure is unacceptable," he said, his voice hard. "This hotel should be a place of respect for people, and I won't let this continue." Jonathan stood up, motioning for Emma to come along. The two made their way to Charles Wentworth's luxurious room. Jonathan knocked the door. When the door opened, Charles appeared with an annoyed expression. "What's the matter?" he asked, his voice full of annoyance. We need to talk, Jonathan replied, his voice calm but authoritative. Charles looked at Emma with contempt. Is it her business again? I don't have time for this. Mrs. Parker is a respectable employee of this hotel, Jonathan said, his eyes unflinching. His behavior is offensive and unacceptable. Charles smiled faintly. Do you know who I am? I can buy this hotel if I want. Jonathan did not waver. Money doesn't allow you to treat others with disrespect. If you don't abide by our values, we will arrange for you to leave. Charles blushed, his confidence shaking visibly. Without saying a word, Jonathan pointed to the door. Pack your things. Emma stood still, unable to believe what had just happened. For the first time she felt protected. When Charles reluctantly closed the door, Jonathan turned to Emma. Thank you for telling me this. I'm going to make sure that no one here has to suffer the same thing. Emma choked up. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. This means a lot to me. Jonathan nodded, his eyes full of determination. Not just for you but for all the staff here. The next morning, Emma received a surprise invitation from Jonathan Hayes' office. Entering the elegant room, she couldn't hide her nervousness. Jonathan stood up to greet her, a gentle smile but a determined look in his eyes. Mrs. Parker, he began, after what happened yesterday, I thought a lot. I want to apologize for what she has endured. But I also realize that you can do more here, not just as a janitor. Emma was silent. What do you mean, Mr. Hayes? I want you to take on a new role, Jonathan said, his voice clear. A position on the management team where she can help improve working conditions for all employees. She has a lot of experience and understanding that we need to make a difference. Emma looked at him, her eyes wide open in astonishment. Me? But I don't think I can afford it. Jonathan smiled reassuringly. She has proven that she is not only strong, but also knows how to stand up for the right thing. Don't worry, my team and I will support you. So what do you think? Emma took a deep breath, and the confusion gradually dissipated. I am very honored. Thank you for trusting me. I'll do my best. Good then, Jonathan said, patting the table. She will help us build a more fair and respectful work environment. Start by gathering input from employees. See what they really need. On her first day in her new role, Emma felt like a different person. She traveled all over the departments, chatting with employees from housekeeping, maintenance to the kitchen team. Many people were hesitant at first, but when they heard Emma share about the difficulties she had experienced, they gradually opened their hearts. I think we need to have more reasonable breaks, said one cook. The work is too stressful to have no time to relax. Our work tools are so old, sometimes we have to fix them over and over again, one maintenance worker commented. Emma took note of everything, missing nothing. With dedication, she presented the proposals in a meeting with management. Initially, there were objections because of the cost, but Emma was adamant. If we invest in our employees, they will do a better job, our customers will be happier. It's not a cost, it's an investment in long-term development. Her fierceness has convinced many people. Some small changes such as more flexible vacation schedules, improvements to work equipment, and organizing meetings between employees and managers are gradually being implemented. In her new role, Emma is not only a bridge between employees and management, but also an inspiration. She helps build a culture where people feel respected and heard. One evening, as she walked through the staff's break room, Emma overheard a conversation. Mrs. Parker is different now. She dares to stand up for us. Yes, I see things gradually changing. Maybe the work here isn't as bad as I used to think. Emma smiled, her heart full of happiness. In the end, her efforts paid off. In the months that followed, the Crestwood Grand Hotel began to change markedly. The improvements that Emma Parker proposed gradually came into practice and quickly brought effectiveness. Employees now have more flexible vacation schedules, upgraded work tools, and most importantly, an atmosphere of respect and cooperation pervasively everywhere. In the kitchen area, employees are excited about new schedules that allow them to easily schedule time to take care of their families. I can go home early to take my kids to school, one chef shared during an all-staff meeting. This has really changed my life. In the maintenance area, new equipment makes the job easier. A technician happily said, "We don't have to patch things up anymore. Now, everything is running smoothly and customers are happier." Emma doesn't stop at small changes. She collaborated with Jonathan Hayes to launch a scholarship program for employees' children. The announcement was made during a small ceremony in the hall, where Jonathan and Emma stood in front of the entire staff. "We want to invest in the future of your family," Jonathan said, and Emma continued. "We understand that everyone here works for their loved ones. This scholarship is our way of showing our appreciation for your efforts." Applause echoed throughout the hall, and Emma felt the warmth fill her heart. Not only stopping at initiatives, Emma has also become the person who connects the departments in the hotel. She organizes interdepartmental meetings where people can exchange ideas and share ideas. A waitress shared, "In the past, we only worked individually, but now I feel like I'm part of a big team." The changes not only delight the employees but also make a strong impression on the customers. The improvement in service quality is reflected in positive reviews. A longtime patron wrote, "The atmosphere at Crestwood Grand is special now. You can feel the care and joy from each employee." One day, Emma stumbled across a new bulletin board in the hall. It showcases photos of praised employees, accompanied by heartfelt comments from customers. Looking at the radiant faces and the words acknowledging everyone's efforts, Emma felt emotional. Standing next to the bulletin board, Jonathan Hayes appeared and smiled. "This is your merit, Emma." Thanks to her, the Crestwood Grand is not only a luxury hotel, but also a truly worthwhile place to work. Emma nodded, her eyes glittering. "This is everyone's effort, but thank you for trusting me." Positive changes at the hotel not only help improve the working environment but also inspire everyone. For Emma Parker, every small step is a big win, not just for herself but for the entire Crestwood Grand community. In her new role at Crestwood Grand, Emma Parker not only helps change the work environment, but also finds opportunities to develop herself and mend family relationships that have been forgotten because of work. With a more flexible schedule, Emma spends a lot of time with her daughter Megan, who used to feel distant from her mother. One Saturday afternoon, Emma accepted an invitation to visit Megan's house. The mother and daughter sat on the porch of a beautiful small house, drinking iced tea together and chatting about old memories. "You look different these days," Megan remarked, her eyes both surprised and warm. "Much happier." Emma smiled softly, her eyes shining with pride. "Maybe it's because it's the first time I feel like my work is really meaningful. It's not just about cleaning or serving, it's about helping people feel respected." Megan gently placed her hand on her mother's hand. "I'm very proud of my mother. You've worked hard all your life, and now you deserve these good things." Megan's words touched Emma. For many years, she was afraid that her daughter would only see a mother who was always busy, tired, and did not have time to care about her family. But now, Emma feels like she's not only setting an example for Megan for her resilience, but also for her ability to make a difference. Outside of work, Emma begins to rediscover her once-forgotten hobbies. She took a creative writing class where she discovered her passion for storytelling. With stories from her own life, Emma inspires the class, sharing lessons about patience and self-esteem. One evening, Megan stopped by to visit her mother after work. Seeing on the table a notebook full of paragraphs, Megan picked it up and read it. "Are you writing a book?" she asked in an excited voice. Emma replied shyly, "Just a few lines of notes. I want to save what I have experienced, to remember that difficulties are never in vain." Megan laughed. "Mom should publish it. I'm sure many people will want to read my story." Megan's encouragement made Emma more confident. She continues to write, not only to recount her life but also to inspire others who are facing similar challenges. Increasingly, the relationship between mother and daughter is getting stronger. Family dinners, long phone conversations, and even walks in the park together become precious moments. Emma is not only a mother, but also a friend and mentor that Megan can trust. Emma realized that true success lies not only in what she does at work, but also in how she rebuilds love and connection in her family. The values she brings to the hotel, respect, compassion, and hope, are now a gift to her daughter. The collaboration between Emma Parker and Jonathan Hayes gradually became an important part of her work at Crestwood Grand. Their relationship, which started as a coincidence in a difficult situation, has now become a strong connection, helping Emma not only improve the working environment but also contribute to building meaningful projects for the community. Jonathan Hayes, the hotelier who was always busy and seemingly cold, now sees Emma as a trusted partner. Together, they discuss and come up with ideas for initiatives that help improve not only service quality but also create a friendly, cohesive working environment. One of the important projects that they jointly initiated is the scholarship fund for the children of hotel employees. In private meetings, Jonathan always listens to Emma's ideas and proposes solutions to implement. One afternoon, as the two sat back in the meeting room, Jonathan said, "The scholarship fund is not just a piece of money, but a way of showing appreciation for the families who have contributed to Crestwood. I want to make sure that it will make a real difference." Emma nodded. Her mind had come up with a lot of ideas. "Maybe we will start with scholarships for university students. But I think we can also support high school students, giving them the opportunity to learn a job or pursue their passion from a young age." Jonathan smiled, his eyes full of trust. "Emma, you always look further and I like the way you think. Let's start with this plan. I am sure it will help change the lives of many people." Together they held fundraisers, combined with in-hotel events to attract attention from the community and customers. Every time Emma talks about the scholarship fund during staff meetings, everyone feels proud of what they donate. They are not only the hard workers behind the scenes, but also part of the great change. Not only at work, the collaboration between Emma and Jonathan also developed into a deep friendship. They often exchange stories about life, difficulties at work, and also happy and relaxing moments after stressful working hours. Emma once talked to Jonathan about her days at the diner and the difficulties of being a single mother, and Jonathan listened, not only as a boss but also as a soulmate. "Emma, I really admire you," Jonathan said once, as they both sat back in his office. "You've been through a lot, and I don't think I can do it like you." Emma smiled lightly. "I just do what I have to do. Every day has challenges, but every challenge makes me stronger." Under Emma's leadership and Jonathan's support, Crestwood Grand has gradually transformed from a mere workplace to a community where everyone feels valued. Their initiatives not only improve the lives of employees but also enhance the value of the hotel in the eyes of customers. The scholarship project became a symbol of dedication and solidarity at Crestwood. And for Emma, partnering with Jonathan Hayes is not just about work, it's about creating a legacy for the next generation. Despite her accomplishments at the Crestwood Grand, Emma Parker's path has not been smooth. The changes she and Jonathan Hayes proposed didn't always get support from all the managers in the hotel. Some in the hotel management felt uncomfortable and apprehensive about Emma's initiatives. They argue that these changes will increase costs and cause disruption, which they do not want. In a tense meeting, Emma stood in front of the directors and managers, preparing to make suggestions for improvement. However, from the beginning, an elderly finance director interrupted her. "Emma, I understand you want to help the staff, but these changes are too expensive. We can't just keep spending money on things that aren't really necessary," he said in a cold tone. Emma tried to stay calm, facing the eyes of the directors who were staring at her. "I don't think this is a useless expense. These changes are investments for the future. Employee happiness will lead to customer satisfaction, and ultimately long-term profits for the hotel. A respected team will work better and serve customers better." But not everyone is easily convinced. One of the other senior managers countered, "We probably don't need to change much, Emma. We're still doing well." However, Emma did not give up easily. She stood her ground, emphasizing that the changes are necessary not only for the immediate benefit but also to create a sustainable and inspiring work environment for employees. "If we don't change, we will just stand still." And I believe that Crestwood Grand deserves a better future where every employee feels like an important part of this hotel. The debate dragged on for quite a long time, and although there were doubts on the part of the board, with Emma's determination and unwavering support from Jonathan Hayes, her initiatives were gradually accepted. Jonathan, as the owner of the hotel, spoke out in defense of Emma against these objections. "I'm on Emma's side. We need to change to develop and create real value. If we don't do this, we're going to be left behind." Despite reaching a consensus, Emma knew that not everyone agreed with the decision. She still faces skeptical stares from some former managers and employees who are still uncomfortable with the changes. But she didn't let these obstacles deter her. Whenever she encounters difficulties, she always remembers the reason she started this job: helping and improving the lives of employees, building a fair and livable workplace. Gradually, with Emma's perseverance, the changes began to bear noticeable results. Employees feel more respected and motivated, and they respond by working harder, resulting in a higher quality of service to customers. Initiatives such as improving rest schedules, providing new equipment, and implementing recognition programs have created a positive work environment where everyone feels engaged and dedicated. With consistency and patience, Emma not only helped Crestwood Grand overcome its initial challenges, but also turned the hotel into an ideal workplace where everyone was valued and respected. What Emma achieved was not only the result of her work, but also the cultural shift, making Crestwood a symbol of solidarity and sustainable development. Emma Parker's success at Crestwood Grand doesn't just stop at improvements in working conditions or changes in company culture. She has built a legacy of resilience and respect, not only for herself but also for all the staff at the hotel, who have long been neglected in the shadow of service. On the one-year anniversary of Emma's promotion, the Crestwood Grand held a solemn ceremony in the hotel's grand lobby. In the solemn space, Emma received a plaque of honor from Jonathan Hayes. Emma Parker is a testament to the power of resilience, respect, and determination. She has helped change not only our work, but also the lives of those who have dedicated so many years to Crestwood Grand. Jonathan declared to thunderous applause from colleagues. Emma stood on the stage, feeling a strong stream of emotions surge in her heart. She looked around and noticed the smiling faces of the employees, who she had stood with, going through many difficulties together. The compliments and recognition made her feel that she really meant something. She is no longer an anonymous, underestimated person, but an important part of the hotel's transformation. When the ceremony was over, Emma returned to her usual work, but this time she no longer had to suffer from loneliness or lack of respect. She has become a changemaker, a pioneer not only in her work but also in the relationship between employees and managers. She always reminds herself that her job is not just to clean up or serve, but to protect the dignity and voice of those who cannot speak up for themselves. Emma's legacy is not only in new policies or improvements in working conditions. Her legacy is a profound change in the way people perceive each other at the Crestwood Grand. Every employee, from those who work in the kitchen area to the front desk staff, feels valued and valued. The change that Emma brought has created a work environment where everyone respects each other, helps each other, and grows together. Emma Parker has become a symbol of resilience and respect at Crestwood Grand, and her legacy has not only affected those who work at the hotel, but has spread outwards, inspiring those who are fighting for fairness and dignity at work. Her story reminds people that, no matter how difficult the circumstances, resilience and respect are the most important values that can change things and create a better world. As time passed, Emma Parker not only achieved success at work but also received recognition from those around her. The change she makes at Crestwood Grand not only helps the hotel grow, but also brings fulfillment to her own personal life. Emma's efforts are not only appreciated in the working environment, but also understood and appreciated by her family and friends. One evening, as Emma was sitting with her daughter Megan at a small neighborhood cafe, Megan looked at her mother with proud eyes. "Mom, I'm really proud of you," she said, her voice warm. "I did wonders at the Crestwood Grand. She has changed the whole work environment, helping people feel important. I am not only a hard worker, but also a leader, a teacher." Emma smiled, looking into her daughter's eyes. "Thank you, Megan. She just wants to do her job well and help the people around her. But it is me and my family who are the biggest source of encouragement for me." The feeling of being loved and recognized by loved ones makes Emma feel fulfilled. Although her work is always busy, she no longer feels lonely or forgets herself. The relationship between her and Megan has healed, and she has started spending more time with her family, which she has missed throughout the years. In her new role at the hotel, Emma is not only a manager, but also a symbol of positive change. She organizes training programs for new employees, sharing her experiences and values that she has learned throughout her journey. Employees, especially newcomers, always look to her to learn and receive advice. The feeling of helping and inspiring others makes Emma feel that her life is more meaningful than ever. She also began to get involved in community activities organized by the hotel, from fundraising for charities to participating in community support campaigns. Emma finds that fulfillment comes not only from personal success, but also from contributing to society and those around her. She believes that every small action, every gesture of kindness can make a big difference. Ultimately, Emma realized that the legacy she created was not just about change in a hotel or in the work environment, but about the relationships that had been cultivated, the values that had been communicated, and the fair, respectful society that she had always worked for. Feeling fulfilled and happy is not the final destination, but a long, meaningful journey that she will continue to pursue, because Emma understands that there is nothing more precious than living a meaningful life and helping others live better.